Do you want to see what I use for my landscape photos? Then let's take a look in my backpack. First of all, this is a Think Tank limo. It's quite a nice bag. It's quite small. It's really narrow, but it does fit quite a lot in it still, and that's one thing I really like. It's just easy to use, and there is quite a lot of space, and there's a lot of adjustments you can make inside as well with all the different sections inside. First of all, obviously, you see I have my tripod on here. This is my Enduro tripod. Pretty good thing. It doesn't have a bar in the middle, which is what I really like, because then I can just put out the legs all the way and I can basically completely flatten it down to the ground, which is really good to get those really low angle shots. And then I'm just using this cheap ball head that I actually bought online. Nothing special, but it works and it does quite a good job. As long as it does what I need it to do, that's pretty much good enough. I also replaced the leg padding that was on here, and I put on padding that's designed by Lens Coats, and it's just so much better. It's like neoprene, and it just kind of keeps your hands a little bit warmer during the winter, and they take quite a lot of damage. They are waterproof as well, so really nice to have, and it's actually good padding for if you're going to hold your tripod over your shoulder. Really nice padding with that. The bag has an opening on the top here, and basically I keep my tools inside. I have a normal flathead screwdriver, and then I have my Allen key for changing my tripod mounts and stuff on the camera, and maybe a few other things as well. But I just keep it on the strap that's in the bag here. Really handy, and you kind of won't lose it as well by keeping it on the strap. And then I have two variable ND filters here. This is the 82mm, which I use on my 24-70, and the 77mm, which I can use on my 100-400mm. I haven't used these much yet, but they can be helpful in really bright situations if I'm wanting to add a little bit of movement to the water. So always good to have some filters with you. Also, a little lens cloth, which is really nice to have if you want to get a little bit of water or something off of your lenses. It's always helpful to be able to clean them a little bit. So first of all, I have my Samyang 14mm 2.8 lens. This is the manual version. I actually had the autofocus version, but it was kind of unreliable, so I decided to go for the manual version, and it's good enough for me to find the focus myself. It's actually a little bit better because I can control the aperture here myself. You get a little bit of a more natural feel to the focus because it is manual and it's not live by wire, which a lot of the Sony cameras or a lot of the Sony lenses have. But really nice lens to have, and it's always handy just in case you want to get that extra wide shot. Sony 24-70 GM lens, and this is one of my favorite lenses actually. I use this quite a lot, and this has been the lens that gives me the perfect sun stars, and yeah, it just works. It's even good for portraiture. I've been using it a lot for concerts as well, but in general for my landscape photography, this is pretty much my go-to lens. It just does the job really well. Images are sharp, colors look great. So if I had to choose something to take out just one lens, it would be this. Then I have my 100-400mm. Most people tend to go for the 70-200 for their close-up style landscape shots. I really like having something with extra zoom, and I'll often use this for taking photos of mountains in the background, and this is actually really good for doing macro style shots. You can kind of, if you zoom in all the way out to 400 and find something quite low on the ground or something close by, you kind of get a macro look out of it, and it's really nice to know that the lens has multiple uses and not just having to use it for one thing. I will use this sometimes for bird photography and stuff, but in general for landscape photography, this is my close-up of mountains, getting things in the background, bringing things forward, and just really focusing on detail. And obviously the camera I'm using to take my photos with. This is the A7R III really great camera. The 42 megapixel sensor is just excellent. I've gotten some great shots out of this already now. I haven't had it too long. I've only had it for about three months now, because I was using Nikon before that. It's a great camera, it gets the job done. Landscape shots look pretty amazing on it, and the details I can bring back out from the shadows and dropping the highlights back down and stuff are just really good. Pretty much a great go-to camera, and obviously you need a lens blower. This is really handy in those dusty situations or when things are blowing around and you're getting too much dust on the front of your lens. You can just blow it off, and then obviously I can use the cloth to get any excess stuff away. But generally this has been really good to have with me. So in the extra pouch here, I'm using a memory card or an SD card wallet. Basically I can just keep 4 SD cards in here. Really handy to have just in case I run out of space on the ones I'm using, and it's there in the bag, just throw it in. So then I also have this little tripod attachment here, which I use to attach on the bottom of my 140mm, and I just attach that on there. Instead of having to take the one off of the camera all the time and replace it, I can just attach this and stick the camera directly onto the tripod that way. Just makes things a little bit simpler. Lastly, I have extra batteries in the bottom pouch. So I'm normally keeping 2 of the MPFZ 100 batteries in that pouch, because obviously I am filming as well, and what I'm using right now is the Sony a7 III to film, and I have the 28mm f.2, and I'm also filming with an ND32 filter as well on the lens, just to kind of tone things down a bit and bring back some of the colors as well. That's pretty much it for when I'm going out taking my landscape shots. Those are the 3 lenses I tend to take with me, and they're the best lenses I can use to pretty much get from all the way to my completely wide shots and all the way to my zoomed in close-up shots, and it's perfect. I mean, 3 lenses and the job's done. But obviously I won't use every lens every time I go out, but having the option there is really great. This was my first time doing a what's in my bag video, but if you guys enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and if you guys want to see me using this equipment, then watch my videos that I've done and that are coming, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Do you guys want to see? Do you want to see what I use for my landscape photos? Then let's take a look in my backpack.